This is Sports Overserved with your hosts, Philip and Matt.
Grab a drink.
What are you doing?
I mean, you gotta trade him.
Is he a Super Bowl caliber game-changing running back? No, he's not.
You still owe me a bet from last year's finals.
I'm waiting for the right timing. I want it to be special, man.
Well, welcome back, Overserved listeners. It is February 11th, Philip, and it's cold as balls in DFW.
It's cold in the D, man.
Jeez, it's colder here than like everywhere in the country. It's like colder here than it is in Colorado, in the mountains in New Mexico. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I personally...
People always say we're babies here in DFW when it gets cold, but it's cold.
It is cold, but yeah, I love the cold, man. I just love it.
I only like it if there's snow, not when it's just gray and windy.
If it's obviously in January, February, I don't mind it. Just because it's so hot in the summer, I just like the change of pace. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. The whole reason
I stayed in Texas was so I didn't have to deal with winters.
Well, you don't. I mean, this happens. I think I don't remember last.
We're gonna be cold for about a week to 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, like cold.
It's gonna get down to 0 on Monday.
Yeah, which is
zero.
I don't remember a time. I mean, in the last 10 years, the closest thing I remember is the week of the Super Bowl when.
No, we had several storms like
where it
blizzards.
got to 0.
Mm-hmm. Remember when it froze over for like 4 days? That's 4 or 5 years ago.
That was was that around New Year's or something? Because somebody told me
it was in like late January, February.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was about I think it was like 2014 January, February.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, we had that freeze over.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah. You're right. I'm thinking at this house, and I moved in the fall of this house. All right.
But yeah, we had a little driving mishap in Fort Worth. Yeah. Unfortunately, a 100 car pileup. 8 people that I heard died. Yeah. And there were some videos that were.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
It was nasty.
Yeah. I mean, this is not. Yeah. Obviously, people. I mean, this wreck was so outrageous. I mean, everything that happened was so dramatic and outrageous. I was on a call at work, and someone on the call said their mother from Argentina called and was making sure. Yes.
Oh yeah, I had people
that was like
calling in, and texting, making sure. My mom was like, "Don't drive if you don't have to." Yeah. And I was like, "Well, it's not bad now." Yeah. Like by the time that I got that text, but I hit a little ice patch on roof snow. Just it was like a 2-foot ice patch.
And I actually drove through that area about 11:30 last night. Obviously 5 or 6 hours before when it wasn't frozen, but right through there. Crazy, it's unreal.
Yeah, and good transition here. It's so cold my wiener wants to go inside my body. That's how cold it is in DFW.
That's not a really good transition.
No, that's a perfect transition. I think you go from 100 car pileup, people died to.
So you get an innie and not an outie right now.
Yeah, it's plain Groundhog Day down there, is what I'm saying. But the Super Bowl, we were both kind of surprised by the outcome of it. I think if we would have been smarter, I even sent a text to you and a buddy of ours and laid out kind of all the reasons why Tampa could win and why the Chiefs could win, and then I just kind of ended it with Mahomes. And it's a lazy. It was just me being lazy, I think.
No, it wasn't you being lazy. It was you watching Mahomes all year and what he's been able to do. And these teams played, 2 months ago.
Yeah, but just ignoring that he was a little hurt.
He was, but he was in Buffalo against Buffalo, right. and it's so. I mean, I don't. Now, yes, it's always you can always look at a bet and look back at it and say that was a stupid bet.
He wasn't the problem. It was the offensive line, I think, was the worst part.
I mean,
there was a lot of drop balls and stuff too, but there was a stat he ran like 457 yards before he passed.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I mean, he was just running in some of those throws where he was horizontal to the field and just slinging it before he got sacked, and then it would hit the receiver in the face.
And another,
like, dude, you gotta catch that.
Well, yeah. So that, and then not one to get into blame game or controversy here, but I feel like they got a lot of bad calls, and whether they weren't
egregious, but
they were drive
all
extenders.
of them went one way, kind of a thing.
Yeah, and they extended the drive. The holding penalty, I think that one
Third
sticks.
down
Yeah,
stuff,
that
yeah.
one sticks out the most.
The interception, I think.
Yeah, that's
Well,
the one
yeah,
I'm
the
talking.
holding,
Yeah.
And it was just it was a ticky-tack call. It's like you just don't call that. Now I could see them calling that if that ended up being the receiver or if the ball was thrown like a split second after that. So that had no bearing on the play. And it was just as a ref, just pick that flag up.
And I would say this, none of those things would have really mattered at the end. I think the better team did win. I think it's clear.
Oh, yeah.
They had a better defense.
That was one of the most. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say having both of Mahomes, tackles missing, would have helped with that. They have a great front four. Tampa does. It would have helped, but I don't know if that's still enough. I think, a lot of bad luck, but I still don't think, 2 touchdowns potentially that hit face mask of players, bad penalties. I still think Tampa wins that game with all that being said.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, that's probably the most impressive defensive performance in a Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's the best defense, but
no, I disagree.
But okay.
Go ahead, I'll let you finish.
To keep that offense to 0 touchdowns, I think that's one of the most impressive things in a Super Bowl.
Yes, it is, but I think it's hard to ignore some of the issues there. Some of the things that we just brought up. His tackles missing.
Yeah,
if they were
and center.
Yeah, and then some of just plays that he made that hit players in their face. Man, Tyreek Hill was a little more difficult. The other one should have been a touchdown. The one that comes to mind where I thought was a more impressive defensive effort was 2007, where it was Brady as the losing quarterback, where they played the Giants, and the Giants completely dominated that team.
How many did
this is a six?
Like
it was
17-14,
I believe.
17-14,
so 14 points, and that was.
Which one was 1926? Was that the next one?
2011. Yeah, it may have been, but I think 17-4 or 21-17 or 17-14. I can't remember, but it was a low-scoring game. But the difference,
29. Oh no, sorry, 17-14.
Yes,
right?
So yeah, it was a really low-scoring game,
21-17. And
they had all their weapons, right? And there were no, for the most part, they were undefeated for the whole season. Obviously, 18-0. So I thought that was impressive. But no, I mean you got to give Tampa credit. They played amazing. Their defense played great. And this is a good question. Is that the most dominant defensive performance for a Tampa Bay team in a Super Bowl? Better than.
Yeah.
I mean, 2002?
Yeah, or 2002, that's right. Just to make you feel a little bit bad about bets you could have placed, if you would have took the Chiefs to score 9 points exactly, you would have got paid out 200-1.
Oh, my gosh.
So a $100 bet on that's getting you $20K.
Nice.
There was a couple other bets. I think no touchdown. No, I guess we could have gone over all your bets. I should have looked at that and seen. We can go over that later. But the national anthem obviously went over. But what we didn't know is the day we did that, or maybe right after, the next day, there was a release of a video showing the practice or the rehearsals of the national anthem. Somebody from the outside has a stopwatch right there and filming it, and you can hear it, and it hit 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And so the over under was 2 minutes. So bunch of money went hard in on the over, and they took the bet off the board everywhere. There was not one place you could get it. And I think a lot of those bets put it into the last minute. I think they canceled them. But if you had that bet in early, you got to keep it.
So I'm curious because I know we talked about that before the game, but did it actually come out to 2 minutes and 15 seconds?
Yeah, I think it came out right to about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't actually watch the national anthem, but I think I looked at the bet later that night.
I don't think Mark Cuban did either.
It was pretty right on it. We can get to that later too. Now, looking forward, I think we should talk a little bit about Brady.
Yes.
And
the man of the hour.
You got GOAT status.
Yeah.
I've got a couple things here that I jotted down. Just some what I guess is going to be known now as I don't know, Brady stats of just like crazy things that you can't believe. Call it a Brady stat. So let me know something about these teams. I'm going to name some teams, and I want you to tell me what's significant about them, okay? The Browns, the Jags, the Texans, the Lions, the Chargers, the Titans, the Cardinals, the Bengals, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Vikings, the Bills, the Seahawks, the Eagles, the Bears, the Jets, the Saints, and the Rams.
So what am I doing here?
What do you think, like, what is special about those 18 teams?
Compared to Brady?
Yeah.
Is they have less Super Bowls combined
They
than Tom
have
Brady.
6 Super Bowls, and Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls. 18 teams in the NFL combined have less Super Bowls than one quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, only 6 teams have appeared in more conference championships than him, which is 10.
Yeah.
14. And only 4 teams have more playoff wins
Wow.
than him. New England's obviously one of them. But then you got Dallas, but I think we're tied or we're 1 above him right now. So then Pittsburgh and Green Bay. Brady's the Bucks postseason passing touchdown leader now with 7.
He beat who's that? Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson, yeah. Brady has 83 postseason touchdowns.
Wow.
Next is tied with Aaron Rodgers and Joe Montana. Guess how many? He has 83, Brady.
I would say 62, and it would be
45.
45. Peyton Manning's the other?
No, that's second. No, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Montana are second.
Oh,
at
I thought you
45.
said there was another person with it.
No.
Oh, I'm
I'm saying he's almost doubled second place
Holy smokes.
on postseason touchdowns. His worst season ever, do you know what it was? Record-wise?
Record-wise,
Mm-hmm.
let me think. Don't give up on me on this one. Well, the Patriots, I think, worst record. Wait, it was 2003.
Okay.
It was. I think they went like 7-9 or something like that.
Nope, he's never had a losing or 8-8 season. 9-7, and I think it was 2002.
It was where they. Oh yeah, maybe it was the year they didn't. You're right, 2002.
Yeah. So
Where they
9-7
didn't.
is his worst record as
And
a
those-
quarterback.
and
So he's
that-
never had a non-winning season.
And that season is surrounded by Super Bowls, right? The year before,
I
and the
think
year
so,
after,
yeah.
So
So
he rebounded pretty quickly.
his average for his career is better than 12-4. Like if you're going to take Brady,
Yeah.
he averages better than 12 wins, 4 losses. He's first place, obviously, in winning percentage for regular season and postseason. But who do you think is second place?
Percentage-wise,
Mm-hmm.
I would say Aaron Rodgers,
Nope.
Peyton Manning,
Stay a little closer to home, boy.
Troy Aikman,
Nope.
Tony Romo. Closer to home.
Yeah.
Roger,
Captain America.
right behind us too.
Yep. Staubach.
Right behind
He is
us.
just under 12-4. He's
That
like
man.
11. He's like 11.9
Nice.
wins per season.
I
10
guess so because they
10
had
years.
won. Yeah, they had won, made the playoffs.
Killed it.
Yep.
His only losing record against the team is against the
New York Giants.
Broncos.
Really?
Yep, he's 8-9 against the Broncos. He doesn't have a chance if he stays on Tampa. He can't play them till like 2023, so that's going to be a while. But he's better than them in the regular season. But he's 1-3 against the Broncos in the postseason.
Okay.
He has a career's worth of stats in the Super Bowl. He's 3,000 passing yards in the Super Bowl and 15 touchdowns. Okay. How many different people do you think he's thrown a touchdown to?
Over his 20-year career,
Mm-hmm.
holy smokes! I would say between. Can I give you at least a 10
sure.
range? I would say between 105 and 115.
Oh, way high. 83. Or sorry,
83.
85.
Okay, that's
85.
not too far off. Okay,
So you got to think he was on the same team the whole time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
A lot of them.
but I
were
just
overlapping.
remember how many
Yeah.
receivers that circulated through New England and
Yep.
running backs and whatnot.
Now this is a interesting stat. So the Bucks' first season was 1976.
Okay.
Brady was born in 1977, so they played 1 year before he was born. The Bucks have 24 more wins than Brady.
Wow.
It is Brady, including playoffs and everything, has 264 wins, and there's 288 for the Bucks. So that's crazy. That is crazy. Brady has pretty much 3 Hall of Fame careers. In his 20s he won 3 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs. In his 30s he won 2 Super Bowls and an MVP. And just in the first 4 years of his 40s, he's already got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that is 3 different Hall of Fame careers.
It really is. Yeah.
Now I'm going to end on this one.
Okay.
If you had to make a bet, all your money, it would be smarter to bet that Brady would win the Super Bowl than Michael Jordan would make a jump shot.
What do you mean? He has a higher winning percentage.
Brady, I mean, if you take out the years engine, 50%, and Jordan makes 49.7% of his shots. So it would be smarter to go, Brady's going to go to the Super Bowl.
Then Jordan would make a shot.
Yeah.
Not a jump shot, just any shot.
Just any shot.
Yeah.
Any shot in the whole game. That's crazy. But what we were going to do is, not this week, but next week, I think we're each going to pick another GOAT from another sport and decide who's the best GOAT.
Yeah.
And then we'll compare it to Brady. I think there's only, I'm going to list some of the people that I
may
think you
be
could
on
choose
this
from.
list.
I think there is one football player you can choose, Jerry Rice, just because his stats are like untouchable for any wide receiver. And he played in a time period that wasn't even as passing heavy. The other one's Tiger and Jack, you know, for golf. Jordan or LeBron, or if you want to throw in, you know, somebody else in there, Russell or something like that, or Wilt. Baseball, I had a hard time splitting, so I said Babe, Hank, Willie Mays, or Ted Williams.
Yeah.
Maybe because everybody's kind of got their own thing. Wayne Gretzky for hockey, Muhammad Ali for boxing, Roger Federer or Serena Williams for tennis, Shaun White for snowboarding, or Tony Hawk for skateboarding.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if this is controversial, but I'd say Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, that is controversial.
So,
but
the last 14 years, he's won 13 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championships.
That's true.
And he's shattered his record almost every year.
Yeah, I would add to boxing, if you wanted to narrow down an argument, is Mike Tyson. And I'm just narrowing down.
As a GOAT?
As a GOAT.
Wow.
Yeah, if you narrowed it down to his prime, I would say before the McKinley fight, but from the beginning of his career. To
I would say Tyson had the best peak, but
I mean,
gotta look at the whole career. Well, who's the other one?
That was.
You just would add that.
Yeah,
one?
I would add that one. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll each pick one, and it can be off that list too.
Yeah.
It can be somebody else, but
one more. If we're gonna do Joey Chestnut, I would say Jimmy Johnson for NASCAR. In his
well, I looked at that. Actually, I had Richard Petty.
Yeah.
Because he has all the
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Johnson's coming, right behind him. But there was four.
Well, he retired, so
there was Dale
he's
Senior.
done,
There was Dale Senior, Richard Petty, Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon. But I don't. think
I would say
Jeff
Jimmy
Gordon.
Johnson over.
Yeah. So, but let's take a quick little break. We'll get into happy hour. Talk some more sports after that.
What is the malted liquor? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer! Can't get enough of it. Beer! How we really love it. Beer! Makes me think I'm a man. Beer.
And we're back, Phil. It is happy hour, and I picked up a nice little winter ale for us today out of Deschutes Brewery in Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
It is called Jubelale. I don't know if that's like a play on words of Jubilee.
Jubilee. Yeah.
Maybe.
I would think so. Yeah.
Jubelale, Jubilee.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
What do you think of the beer so far?
Honestly, I like it. This is more your style. I get it. You know.
It's a kind of a milder this is kind of a winter warmer beer.
Yeah.
Kind of a milder taste there. But do you want to go ahead and guess the
Get right into it.
percentage of alcohol, or ABVs? God, who is a player with this number?
Let me do a little taste here. I don't feel like the ABVs are too high.
Okay.
So let's see. I am gonna go with what's his well,
I don't know any player by this number.
I think I know a player, last name Holland, offensive lineman for the Cowboys a few years ago, 6.4.
It's pretty close. A little higher.
67?
Yeah, 6.7.
Russell Maryland.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Come on,
go.
Matt.
Now, IBUs are next.
IBU.
The International Bitterness Unit.
And you have a player for this one?
I think so. I know that this player is either one of two numbers, but I think it's this number.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go. Man, let's go. Let's go. Man, this is tough. This because it doesn't taste too bitter. I feel like it's kind of low.
Okay.
But all right, let's go. I'm taking too long here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go James Washington here. 3.37.
You think of like, I'm so mad at you, I'm gonna stomp on your face.
Andre Gerard. 65.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's
Yeah.
high.
I was right then. So it was 65.
Yeah.
It was either 60 or 65. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, 65. Yeah.
65. I was surprised by that too because it's like I said, it's
Yeah,
kind of a
it's-
milder taste.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
So yeah, I
hides
was
it well.
guessing 30s or 40s, kind of like
Yeah.
you were, but
I did well. It's actually really good.
So this is it tells you to cozy up fireside with this festive winter ale full of spice notes and robust malt character of toffee and dusted cocoa. An original since 1988. So this was actually, I think, their original beer, the first beer that they did out of Deschutes Brewery.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if we've ever had. I was just thinking about it, Matt. I don't think we've had one where the ABVs and the IBUs are so close.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's really impressive because it doesn't taste like a 6.7. And
Well, you must think it does because you guessed 6.4.
No.
For
no, that was for bitterness.
But you get on the ABVs, you guessed like 63.
No,
or
I said
something.
37. James Washington, 3 point.
No, that was your IBVs.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're pretty close on there.
I'm all, okay,
But
maybe
yeah.
it is. Maybe the ABV is there.
That ABV's getting to you.
It's tricking me a bit. All right.
Now, something special about this beer is it's a obviously seasonal beer every year. And what they do is they get a local artist to do the artwork for the bottles.
Oh, okay. So the
so this
label
is-
changes every year.
The label changes every year, yes, sir. And this artist is, let's see, Eric Neifler, a popular Portland-based artist, best known for his concert posters for musicians, including blah, blah, blah. Oh,
Yeah,
Fish.
it's a cool
That's a
name.
pretty big band.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. Nice
Cool
little
label.
winter.
I would say our winning percentage on beers that I think the true testament of whether it's a good beer or not is would you
Yep.
buy it again by yourself?
Yeah.
And I think I would.
Would you? I wouldn't because there's a lot of winter warmers I like better than this one.
Yeah, I just like the subtleness of it. I think
Yeah.
some of them are a little too much. I like how the ABV is a little bit lower
Yeah.
than most of them. Some of
Well,
them,
winter warmers are all about this.
some are in the.
The bourbon barrel ones are high,
Okay,
but
okay, maybe that's the ones I've
normal
had.
ones are this. So
I-
Rars is good. Not
Winter
the
warmer.
bourbon. Well, I know, but they
No,
have
that's the name of it,
Yep.
right? Okay.
They have their non-bourbon barrel one that I think is better than this one, and then actually Samuel Adams has a really good winter ale.
Yeah.
It's
good beer.
But it's
I'd recommend
decent.
it.
I'd give it a
recommend it.
6. I wouldn't be mad if somebody gave me one, but I don't think I'd pick it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 7.5 on this one. I'm actually.
You gonna eat anything with this beer?
No, I can't. It's filling. I mean,
Okay.
this is I think an hour and a half after dinner. You want to grab this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It fills you up pretty quick. You
Yeah.
can't have more than 2 or 3. I don't think.
I think this would be a nice beer to dip with because
Yeah.
it's got a similar
Yeah.
flavor note. I think there to a little bit of
Well, I
Copenhagen.
can't do both, but
Yeah, I know you can't, but the normal person that can talk and chew. But yeah, that is again Deschutes Jubelale is what we had today.
Like it.
And we are going to go into a little bit of a controversial topic with the Mavs and the national anthem, Mark Cuban, Adam Silver, the NBA. So what has happened is there hasn't been fans, or at least many fans, at Mavs games this year.
I think 2 games now.
Just a few days ago, I forget if somebody wrote it or if Mark Cuban came out and said it and just said, yeah, we haven't been playing the national anthem at the games. I don't think it really caused a big uproar. I didn't hear anybody like that mad about it. Who?
Well, I mean, you're talking about in the media or just fans?
Just in general. I didn't hear a big uproar.
I think there was some backlash. Yeah.
But Mark Cuban came out and he just said that there's, a lot of the players have some feelings certain ways about it, and they just decided not to play it.
Yeah.
And then about a day or two after he said that, Adam Silver came out and said, it's NBA policy that we play the national anthem at every game. So guess what, Mark? You're playing the game. And he goes, well, yeah, we listen to anything that the NBA says. And, we're definitely going to do that. We're very, we like people that are patriotic and, we're very for the country. So he was kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth. Yeah. I don't think there was really a problem with what he did.
Well, I mean,
of not playing the anthem.
Well,
there's no fans anyway. Like, there's no pregame.
My thought would be, I think his original point is we heard folks in the community.
Yep.
And that was part of the reason why they didn't play it. And then to go back and now say, we didn't really cancel it.
Yeah.
My issue with it is, if you're going to make a stance on it and don't backpedal so quickly. And I think that's my issue.
Yeah.
Now, whether I agree with you personally, I don't.
Yeah,
I think there's a reason.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think I like the national anthem. I think it's a great when I go to Cowboy games. It's an awesome moment to see everyone stand up in support of the country or whatnot.
Right.
But if you're going to make a statement and you have valid reasons, and he said he did, and they didn't want to do it, and it's not that he brought it up, but they were kind of surprised that it took so long for people to notice that they weren't doing it. But don't completely backtrack, and that, I'd have more respect for him if he said, "You know what, this is
have a spine."
Yeah, this is becoming a more divisive issue.
Yeah,
and I think it's something that should bring unity to all of us. It's not serving that purpose, and is bringing more divisiveness. I would have a ton more respect for him if he stood by that than saying, "Oh no, I was."
And basically
I didn't really mean it. I didn't really mean it.
He didn't even have to fight Silver. Go, okay, you said we have to. We do. I mean, I'm not changing my stance, but
it's like he didn't want to, but he almost wanted to.
He's just playing both sides of the fence.
I know, but it's just he looks like an idiot on both sides. For both sides, wait, you just said, if I'm on the side that say, hey, it's impacting the community, they're not hearing, and you fold that quickly. And then if you're on the other side saying, hey, you said that it was a big deal, but now it's not a big deal. He
I think
loses
the
both
funny
sides.
thing is he's like, there was some misinformation. We didn't cancel the national anthem. We just didn't play it.
But he did.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're just using a different word.
Yeah.
And, we understand that you didn't cancel it and you didn't say they're never doing it. And you just decided not to play them. And I think it's kind of a dumb moment to not play it at that point. There's no fans. Like, who's listening to it anyway?
Yeah.
Everybody else getting ready for work and all that stuff. But I do want to get to this. Where do you think the line is that you play the national anthem and you don't? Like, professional sports, amateur sports, when do you play it, when do you not?
When you have enough people to bring unity to a room on both sides. I think that's the cool thing. You can go on a road game. I've been at Lambeau Field in a playoff game and couldn't stand looking at the side of Packer fans. But for that 2 minutes or 2 minutes 15 seconds, whatever the prompts were, we were all one country. Whether you're left or right, whatever, we're all Americans. You're a Packer fan, I'm a Cowboy fan, and it's a sign of unity.
Right.
If there's no one in the stands or there's limited people, I guess it doesn't make sense to have it at a JV B team game. But in a high school, if it's a two varsity, and there's 300 or 400 people. I think the whole point of the national anthem is just playing it before a game is to show unity and to show, hey, this is bigger than this, but let's just remember, this is where we're here. This is our great country, and because of this, we get to do things like this that are fun, watch sports and watch two teams and two sides.
And one thing that I wanted to bring up too is to me, it's different with football because there's only 16 games. With basketball, you're 82, and then baseball, you're 162, and you're like, when does it become repetitive? And
you got to think a lot of people only go one or two games, right? So you want that experience, and that's one of the first experiences I remember going to games as kids. As a kid, is watching the national anthem or listening to it in baseball games or whatever. But I don't know.
And I'm one of those. I just think I don't think it's bad. I just think it's an odd thing that we do it, but it's cool. I stand up and sing it, and I feel like it's kind of fun. But I feel like after this debate came up in the past 5 years, I just thought about it. I go, that is kind of weird that we play the national anthem before we play any sport game.
Well, I think it's more of an I don't know why, but the bigger the game, the bigger the stage. I feel
like big games, I get it.
Well,
like, it's
I know,
cool, like it's nationally televised game, stuff like that. But it's like, you're going to the Jags versus the Dolphins. There's 15,000 people there. Nobody's watching it on TV. Do we really need to sing the national anthem? Let's just get this shitty game over, kind of a thing. But I don't know. It's funny. The Mavs. Looking a little better.
Oh, they're still looking a lot better.
Yeah. Well, they're still under 500, but they're clawing their ways back.
4 straight now?
I did want to talk about a player that we traded away in Seth Curry. He's having a nice little start to his season. He hasn't played every single game, but he is on a pace for 50-50-100 So there's a 40, 50, 90 club.
50, 100.
40, 50, 90 club's like a exclusive club. Dirk's made it one, Steph, and I think Larry Bird.
Where's it,
and
downtown, or where's
so
it?
it's 40% from 3-point, 50% from the field, and 90% from the free throw line for an entire season. You're the 40, 50, 90 club,
okay.
right? But right now, Seth Curry is shooting 50% from the field, 50% from three, and he hasn't missed a free throw this year. He's 30 for 30.
So he's like,
I haven't watched the game that he's playing right now, but it could change tonight. But having a nice little season.
yeah, I would say that's pretty amazing.
So he's played in 18 games.
And the Mavericks, or at least earlier this week, the last in 3-point percentage. So you think they
with
could have
no
used
help
that?
to Luka.
Yeah, so you think they could have used that 50% from Seth Curry?
Yeah, that's not. He's actually shooting better from three than he is from two.
Wow.
So he's shooting 50% exactly from two and 0.507, so just a hair better from behind the line. But 30 for 30 from the line. So he's a great offensive player. It was a shame that we lost him. We had to kind of do that to get some more defense around and help Luke out there. But that was he was a fun Maverick to have for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
didn't like losing him.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like.
You
No,
just didn't like him.
No, I liked him, and I wish he was here, obviously, and especially the numbers he's putting up this year. Big loss, I think, from our 3-point, because our 3-point game is non-existent right now.
We're currently a game and a half behind the 8 spot. So
we've made a lot of headway.
By next week, we could be in the playoff.
I think 4 out of 5. I think we're 4 out of 5, and I think 4 in a row.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We're 3 in a row.
3 in a row. Okay,
Yep.
so still 4 out of 5.
I think the hottest team right now, though, is the Utah Jazz. I think they're 16-1 in their last 17 games. So they kind of seem like they're going to be a team that flames out in the playoffs, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But before we finish, I do want to talk about one more thing. All-Star Game. The NBA wants to do it. The players vehemently do not want to play the game. What do you think? Should they play the game or no?
No.
No.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if your whole point is to protect the players and to not have COVID be a super spreader and all that, it just makes no sense to have almost a representative from every important team that's going to have a representative or a playoff contending team, and something happen and you have someone that's
Super
around.
spreader, is that what like the NBA players bring back to their hotel room and have that party with?
No, it's a
super spreader.
No, it's
the
what you
COVID.
fertilize your yard with. It's a super spreader, but it just makes no sense. I don't know if you weigh out the pros and the cons we were talking about earlier. I don't know what the pros of it. The cons are you could have to almost potentially cancel your season or suspend it for 2 weeks to a month if it's a serious enough case where if people so that's a huge con. The pro of it is you can't have fans in the stadium in the first place. Where's it at, or where would it potentially be?
Well,
at?
they said they were going to do it. It was supposed to be in Chicago. I think they were going to move to Cleveland or something. They were going to move it to a different city, and it was like, what? That's my point. Is the whole thing is a huge event where celebrities come. They shut down the whole city. You know, the downtown area is bumping, and you're not going to be able to do that. So what's the point? And I feel like you could even do most of it separately. You could do a dunk contest. You can have each player that's in the dunk contest just put cameras in there in their homes arenas and just do it there.
Just not do
3-point contest.
Just not do it.
Well, I mean, but I think that would be cool if they had 3-point contests and they just do it at their own thing.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
cameras.
I would say, that having the pressure of seeing the other guy being in the same arena doing it.
I know, but it's it's a different time right now, and I feel like
I don't think
get
people
something like that
I
in.
think NBA fans like the All-Star game, and I think that's maybe, but having the fans and all that. But,
Well, because they did like that horse game during the real COVID lockdown where they would do it. They'd do a shot.
yeah,
And then
I think the NBA needs to follow, like you said, the NFL lead in the sense. Just
Well, speaking about Mark Cuban going back and forth, that's what the NBA did. They were, we're never going to do anything. Then they do the bubble, and then they're like ragging on the NFL and the MLB for like having all that, and they have they finish the whole season with no hiccups. They don't do a Pro Bowl, and then the NBA just go one way and then they go the other. Like, don't do the All-Star game.
It makes no
such
sense.
an easy decision, but
Yeah.
do something that makes the
they
players
won't. I
happy.
guarantee. I'll say it now. It's not going to happen. It's stupid to have it, and they'll
Set
figure
in
it out.
stone. Let's take a break.
You're listening to Philip and Matt on Sports Overserved.
All right, Phil, we are going to talk a little bit of Cowboys to end the pod. But before I do you want me to bring up your prop bets?
Yeah,
real Tell everybody how you did.
Yeah,
you did pregame. You did pretty well. You got the coin toss on heads, and you got over on the national anthem.
Okay.
Then you also got there'll be a score in the last 3.5 minutes. You said no, and there wasn't. And you got that the last play will be a QB rush. It was a kneel down, so you got that.
Okay.
So that's 4. There were 14 bets. The other ones didn't do so hot on. Gatorade, you picked yellow green. It was blue, even after a little bit of confusion because CBS didn't actually put it on, so they had to watch like fan videos. Opening kickoff touchback, you said yes. They ran it out. First offensive play, you said run. It was a pass. First score in first 5 minutes, you said yes. There was not. First score, you said Tampa. It was KC. You said it'd be a touchdown. It was a field goal. Patty, you said he wouldn't have an interception. He had 2. Tom, you said he would have an interception. He had 0.
Well, he had 1.
Let's take it back.
Well,
so, touchdown prop. You picked Tyreek would definitely have one. Chiefs didn't even have one. So that one I said Fournette would have one, so I would have won on that one. I think I only picked like 2 of these, but tie after 0-0. You said yes. There was not another tie. Players with a pass attempt. You said there would be more than 2. There was not. And you picked Mahomes for MVP.
He didn't get it? He didn't get MVP?
It was Brady. So,
okay.
Good thing that you didn't do your prop bets. So, that's rough. But, they weren't all 50-50. Some of them you had to pick a player. But what I want to get into is what you think about the quarterback situation for the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Okay, well, that's a issue that I think everyone is trying to kind of wrap their hands around. I think part of the issue is I think half the fan base isn't sure if they want Dak or not, and that makes it unique. With other quarterback controversies, it's pretty clear cut, or if they're in a contract negotiation or whatnot. But Dak's already been franchised, and to make matters worse is he was injured, and now you have this injury hanging over his head, hanging over the Cowboys' head, hanging over the fans' head. Like, what do we do? Do we sign him long term? Is it smarter to franchise him at this point and see how he does? Million. Yeah, and take that hit. And the Cowboys have to designate that by March 9th is the deadline, which we're less than a month away at this point. So essentially, the Cowboys need to make a decision. Is he long term? You're hearing rumors swirl. Russell Wilson evidently isn't completely happy in Seattle, and Vegas, of course, is already putting odds out who would be the best suitor. And Vegas
for Mariota.
No,
they're saying for Mariota, they're getting a lot of calls.
Oh, really?
The Raiders are getting a lot of calls.
No, when I mean Vegas, I mean gambling Vegas.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, not the Raiders.
Yeah, that's confusing now. And the Raiders and the Cowboys, Vegas, the city, the gambling institution, is saying the Cowboys are number 2 behind the Raiders as a potential suitor to Russell. I don't think that's likely. I think the Cowboys are going to franchise tag Dak, because they almost have to. I don't know if it's if you really want. I think it's in the best interest for almost both of them. Outside of Dak getting what he wants is a shorter term with a higher annual salary at over north of $40 million a year for 4 years. If it makes sense, the Cowboys are going to have to pay, I think, $37 million on the franchise tag this year. It really, for the Cowboys, it makes more sense to franchise him. Make sure that ankle is healed up, and then they have until July to sign him to a long-term deal. So I think that's the smarter thing. Get him in minicamp, but the Cowboys have a decision to make. Do we want Dak or not? And what's going on behind the scenes, honestly, who knows? I mean, you're hearing these rumors of other quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, other just the fan base is not being completely excited about re-signing Dak, not knowing what his ankle injury is. For me, if I had to say, I would say you have to franchise him. You have to keep him. Just from a football asset standpoint, you have to keep him and potentially trade him at some point and maybe get a couple first rounds. But I think at that same time, if you do that, then you're basically saying we're blowing everything up at this point and rebuilding for the future.
Yeah.
So it's we're pretty much at square one here. I don't feel like we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah. What I'm looking at is the NFL quarterback position becoming what 15 years ago was the NFL wide receiver position of drama queens, of they're upset with everything if it doesn't go their way. And you're kind of seeing that again. You're looking and you're seeing they're talented players, right? And they, deserve the money they're getting, and they're doing well, and they're helping their teams win. But there's got to be a point to where you just don't want to hear the complaining, and you want to voice your opinion, yes, but you're looking at the NFL right now, and more than 2/3 of the team, either the quarterback's somewhat upset or the team is somewhat upset with the quarterback position. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons that I say kind of hold your horses on signing Dak. I mean, I go back and forth every day, but one of the reasons I say hold your horses on it is because, well, what if we go sign Dak to a 3, 4, 5-year contract worth $40 million a year, and then he's upset in a year and a half, and then we have to go trade away draft picks for somebody to take him so we can do something and get out of the contract. I'm kind of wondering if here in the new future, if quarterback and maybe even more contracts are just going to be shorter term deals, because we're going to be like, we'll pay you a little bit more, but we're not going to be stuck with you for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and I think that's the unique thing about this situation is the Cowboys, and that's what's frustrating to hear people say, well, the Cowboys aren't willing to make a commitment to Dak. Well, they are. They want a longer term deal. Right, so he can't go in the market at a sooner time and whatever that salary,
which might be not the best idea right now. Looking like what I was talking about.
Well, but now you have to couple in the injury. And it makes no sense for the Cowboys. Why, if they have the ability to franchise him and pay $37 million, which the contract he's asking for is going to be north of $40 million?
Right. Why do it?
The only risk you have is if, let's say, they're still uncertain going into training camp, and at that point, then if they don't make a commitment that year before the season or at the end of the year, then that franchise tag is almost $50 million. The next year, the third year on a franchise tag, which doesn't make sense at any point to keep him as your quarterback. Agree. So I think they have to, if you feel comfortable in minicamp and you see enough, and he's supposed to be full, his ankle is doing well. He had a second surgery that we talked about, I think last week, or maybe we didn't, but it was a cleanup surgery after his initial surgery. And he shouldn't miss any organized team activities or mini camps and all that. So I think if you see and you feel confident and he's your guy, you sign him and be done with it. Because if it goes through the end of the year, then you could be quarterbackless, which half the base would probably be happy about it. Yeah. But we kind of saw what this team did offensively without Dak, and it was a lot more successful with Dak. So I'd say make the commitment, make a gut call, make a decision based off the information you have and what you see in front of your eyes. But outside of that, it's time for them to make a decision. At this point, you've got to make a decision.
I'm going to throw some names out there and just see what you think of them. Okay.
As a potential replacement to Dak? Or
potential replacement, yeah. Okay. So obviously Dak is, the number one option that will probably happen. But I'm just going to throw stuff out there. If there's a 1% chance, if there's a 10% chance, if there's a 30% chance.
Yes or no?
Well, you could do yes, no. You could give me a percentage, whatever you want to do. Marcus Mariota.
No.
Nope.
No, 0%. I don't want him.
No, not if you want him. If you think it could happen.
None.
Okay. Derek Carr.
0.
Okay. Deshaun Watson.
15% chance.
Okay. Russell Wilson.
22% chance.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers.
0% chance.
Okay. Carson Wentz.
I would say less than 5 because he's divisional rival.
Okay. Tua Tagovailoa.
Say 10%.
10%. Okay. Let's see. Jameis Winston.
I would say if they did franchise and it needed another backup in case Dak has another injury, I'd put him a little higher, maybe 17 to 20%, but I think the Saints are
I think he's under contract.
And I think the Saints are pretty adamant about putting him as part of their offense next year.
Trevor Lawrence.
0.
Okay.
I don't think there's any way
we can trade up. Matt Ryan.
That one's interesting. I would say that one you could see a way out to where they could work something out. They take on backs, and I'd say maybe 15%.
I think this is an interesting one too. Jimmy G.
I don't want him.
Okay,
but I would say
trade possibility. You know, signing
8 to
Dak
10%. I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay, a little high. That's all I can kind of think of potential people that we could get out there. And then I guess Andy Dalton. What do you think of the odds that he?
I think he's
starts the season.
Starts the season, or as on
as
our
our starter. As our starter,
I would put him probably the highest out of all of those options because they're comfortable with him. If Dak, they may sign him as a backup, as a contingency, playing like they did last year. And if Dak isn't progressing or re-injury, I think he's probably the most likely. He is the most likely quarterback to start for the Cowboys outside of Dak Prescott. Coming September.
Last two coming from one team. Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles?
Which would I rather have?
Do you think there's a possibility of either one of them being...
I would say it's more likely that Trubisky would come over because there's a lot of rumors that Chicago's going to get a new quarterback this year. So
yeah,
that
might be Wentz.
That may be Wentz.
Yeah, it could be interesting. So I just think that there is a lot of stuff out there. And
it's going to be a crazy offseason if you really think about who the quarterbacks and where and...
Well, what I think that does, though, is it hurts Dak's leverage because they're like, yeah, man, but we got tons of options.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many quarterbacks that are unhappy with their position or they're going to be free agents, and we can, who cares? We'll bring them in for a year and see what can happen. What about drafting another quarterback besides Trevor Lawrence, though?
The only one that would be worth my opinion is Zach Wilson with BYU, one that I've talked to you about. I think he's going to be a stud. He may be number 2 pick overall, ahead of Justin Fields.
Yep.
That's one if he fell to 4 or 5 in the draft,
go get him?
I would. I think he's.
What are we at, 10?
We're at 10.
Okay.
He'd have to drop a little bit, but I don't think he will. So I'd say that's unlikely too because I think he's going to go up. He's for sure a top 3 pick in my opinion.
Okay. The last thing I want to talk about, somebody brought this up. I forget who it was, but talking about delaying being able to hire a coach until after the Super Bowl. What do you think of that? I
think that's a great idea. I think, number one, you don't want coaches to feel that are potential candidates to keep them focused from the current team, right? You want, if I'm that team, if I'm the Cowboys and we have a hot defensive coordinator that's going to be a hot commodity.
Oh, so you're saying no even interviews till after?
I'd say just don't start it to the end. And I get, obviously there's a month gap
extra time,
there. Yeah. But I think it's better for everyone. I think it's better for the candidates. They get a fair shot. There's no distractions. I think it's better for the teams that have the current coaches, and it's also better for the fans that are depending on these coaches to game plan for your team. I mean, all the way around. I think it's an unfair process if you think of Eric Bieniemy. I think that's who you're thinking of in the fact. Bieniemy, whatever, is that he was still working, and I don't know, he could have obviously still got an interview and all that, but it just makes it difficult when
him and Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
So both of them being in the Super Bowl and being good defensive coordinators. I think it's kind of weird that they don't have that policy because they have it set up for free agency for players. I think that's so weird in professional sports that there's salary cap and all these different rules for players, but then coaches can do whatever they want. So I think there should be salary cap for coaches on how much you can spend on coaching.
Well, I would say as a Cowboys fan, no.
Because we spend whatever we want, but I'm just saying I think that's a good idea. But I just can't after she said that, I forget who it was that said it, I was like, how is that not a thing, that there's not a time period for hiring coaches? But
it's unfair to everyone, I think, outside of the candidates that get the job because they didn't
they were available. Haven't had a job for the past year and they're just sitting around waiting, or got fired like Dan Quinn and picked up real quick,
or Mike McCarthy.
I mean, it's exactly. So but check out Facebook. We'll probably be putting up some videos and different things like that, and as always,